Hey, welcome everybody, man. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you very much for taking the time to come through and hang out with us. May Saturday be going hella dope for you guys, man. Hopefully Saturday is going good for you guys. What do you call it? Just read and shit, man. Fucking Trump has sent over 2,000 National Guards over to California, man. What do you call it? I'm not mad for my Californians and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, when it comes to standing 10 toes down and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? And standing for what you believe in and shit, man. And honestly and shit, man, you know, they're fighting for what is theirs and shit. We all know and shit, California, Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico and shit, man, is Mexico. You know what I'm saying? 100%. And we gotta figure out a way and shit, man, to you know, stop the BS and shit, man, and you know, pretend that none of this shit is happening in front of our faces or happening in our backyards and shit, you know what I'm saying? 100%, man. Unity is needed. Unity is a must. And if you guys are seeing what's going on in California and shit, man, you know damn well and shit, man, it's definitely needed more than ever. There's people being deported that ain't never spent a life in Mexico and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Never spent a day in their life in Mexico and shit, man. You know, I think things are gonna start escalating a little bit more and shit, man. Which sucks. And I think there's just gonna be a lot more. Let me see. Just some more fear, more everything to be honest and shit, man. Let me see.
Unfolding in Los Angeles after federal immigration agents breaking overnight. Chaotic scenes of protests unfolding in Los Angeles after federal immigration agents raided 7 businesses across the city. At one site, a crowd tried to stop agents from driving away after several people were detained. Immigration advocates say at least 45 people were arrested in Friday's raids. Mayor Karen Bass said that neither she nor the LAPD had any idea that these raids were going to happen.
Frankly, I'm just outraged because what happened is that when ICE went in, they just took people away. And we just can't have this in our city. And it happened multiple places in the city. And what it does is that it sows a sense of terror throughout the community.
It does.
And ICE released the same.
What is dignity in their eyes and shit, man? You know what I'm saying? What is dignity in their eyes and shit, man? Hey, smoke it if you got it, man. Hi, Nation. Hi, Joe. What's up, James? How you doing, bro? Hey, let's go all the way up, baby. Let's go all the way up, guys. 100%. Let's go all the way up. It's it's crazy and shit, guys. It's crazy. We're living in those times and shit, man. We're we're being tested more than ever and shit. And it does suck and shit, man. It does suck. Because either you're standing with people that have the same feel like you and shit, man, or you're standing alone and shit, man. And man, oh yeah, it says right there, man. Trump deploys 2,000 National Guard members after LA immigration protests. It's just a way to start making our motherfucking world look like a third world country and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, man. The West Coast and shit, man, is gonna get hit like that and shit, man. Straight wild.
ICE protesters are still rioting. Turning now to a Fox News alert. Anti-ICE protesters are still rioting in Los Angeles County and setting a car on fire. You're looking at live pictures in Paramount, California right now. In the last hour, Border Czar Tom Homan told us they were sending in the National Guard to California. Lydia, the damage is just striking here that we're seeing. We also have seen reports. There's a Fox Los Angeles reporter who's just there on scene trying to cover this story. He said his car was destroyed by protesters.
You know, let's hope that no one is hurt and no one is injured and it doesn't escalate from here. Look at the flag. Yeah, Guy, I see
there it is.
You
Mexican flag can,
this is criminal activity that I hope is people are held accountable for. And I'm talking about the riots right here.
Where are the cops?
Yeah, where are they? We heard earlier that Karen Bass, the mayor of LA, an allegation that she had prevented the LAPD from responding yesterday when these were first developing, Guy, for upwards of 2 hours or more. To your point, where are the police?
Well, the officials in this part of the country, in Los Angeles and California, are too busy tripping over themselves to attack Donald Trump.
What I have to say is we as civilians, we as taxpayers pay the police and shit, man, you know what I'm saying? To work for their fucking money and shit, man, you know? So what I see right there and shit, man, is a bunch of civilians and shit, man, making California work for its money and shit, man, you know what I'm saying? All those cops right there are working for their money. You know, they're not fucking eating donuts and shit. They're not fucking finger up their ass, seeing what prostitute they're gonna go take to the alley and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm being honest and shit, you know? Like, there has to be a way that people stand up and fight, and these people are standing up and fighting. Look at all those all cop cars and shit. You know, like people talk about when are we going to stand up? When are we going to fight? Well, you're watching it in real life, in real time. People actually going heads up with, you know, the police, with ICE, you know, and it's not a problem. It's definitely not a problem. It's a problem when you send your people into neighborhoods and start terrorizing people's neighborhoods and shit, and people feel like that's what's going. It's a bunch of gangs, and the police, ICE is the gang and shit. You know what I'm saying? So now neighborhood has to come together. The neighborhood has to come together and shit, man, and take care of business and shit, you know, and this is what you get, you know?
And law enforcement, I guess those are the cops back there, to actually condemn these people doing these things. And in the intro, Alicia, you said these are anti-ICE protesters. Yes, but if you just squint, it could easily be the BLM protesters or the Free Palestine protesters or the Resist Doge protesters or the Resist ICE, in this case, protesters. It is this dirtbag coalition of leftist, violent so-called protest that has been a huge problem in this country for years, and they are escalating.
Yeah, Concha, you don't see Democrats coming out with any sort of outrage over the destruction here. Their outrage is the opposite. It's over the ICE officials who were out there.
Let me give you 5 names where we're not hearing a lot from right now, except to attack these ICE officials, which is leading to attacks like this. Karen Bass, Los Angeles mayor. Gavin Newsom, California governor. Adam Schiff, who's active on X and social media condemning, to Guy's point, Donald Trump. Not hearing anything from him. Eric Swalwell as well. You can't get away from this guy on social media attacking Trump. Nancy Pelosi, the former House Speaker. Where are you? This is war right now that we're seeing in terms of our federal agents being attacked and California officials doing nothing to stop it.
No, it's going to be an incredibly bad look.
What I said before and shit. Why? Because they want us to destroy each other and shit. They want us to take each other out. You know what I'm saying? It's psychological warfare and shit, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to get people started, you know. Oh, you wetback. Oh, you know, you N-word. Oh, you know, you white, whatever and shit. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, it triggers people. You know what I'm saying? And then people's anger comes out and shit, you know, and it's like once that anger comes out, there's no control. So therefore, what you have and shit is collateral damage and shit, you know what I'm saying? In all direction, you know? Collateral damage everywhere and shit, you know? Why? Because they got you guys programmed. And I'm not saying you guys, but the people that are out there and shit, they could be protesting for something better and shit, you know? I mean, they're fighting for their freedom because there's, like I said, there's a lot of people that are being picked up and they've never done anything in their life, anything wrong. If you ain't never done anything wrong, never had to fucking look at a police officer and shit, you know, I think you should be given the opportunity to, you know, get that paperwork right and shit, man. Work with these individuals to, you know, fulfill their U.S. duties or whatever, ensure they're becoming citizens and shit, you know? You know, there's people out there that fucking deserve to not go back to their fucking land and fucking be terrorized and shit, you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. I mean, I'm going to sleep comfortably regardless and shit. The only time I'm not going to sleep comfortably is when, you know, Red Dawn happens and shit, you know? And we still don't know who it's going to be. Is it going to be China or if it's going to be Russia, you know? Hey, that was on the news a while ago, got messed up. You see, but it's crazy if they do leave the city, where do they come to? We're the next city over and shit, you know what I'm saying? I mean, they're either going to go to Vegas, they're either going to go to Washington, they're going to go to Oregon, you know? That's crazy, huh? There you go, baby. You know, you see, I started this channel years ago and shit, man, you know, almost 12 years ago and shit, man, you know, and to be able to be 12 years in advance and shit, man, that's a gift, but it's also a fucking nightmare and shit, you know, because now you're watching your predictions come to life type shit, you know what I'm saying? Now you watch what you drew up come to life, you know? It's wild. Hi, how we doing, my sister Lori? Welcome. Thank you very much for being here, vibing with us, hanging out. Oh yeah, make sure you guys share, invite, man. What's popping, everybody, man? Let's get it.
There you
go. New press, North Korea open talks with South Korea. The new press, North Korea open talks with South Korea. Hold on. New press. Who has a new president? Yeah, because South Korea and North Korea are not cool with each other, but now they're going to talk. What's really going on? Hey, what up, Cody Johnson? Welcome. Oh, I don't know if you guys heard that. Oh, yeah, you guys share me up, guys. Share me up. And if you guys are interested in copying a shirt like this, man, holla at your boy, man. 100% holla at your boy. Let's make it happen.
We're back with breaking news in LA. California.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Gavin Newsom condemning the ICE raids sweeping through his state as protesters square off with federal agents in Los Angeles. Newsom saying this: continued chaotic federal sweeps across California to meet an arbitrary arrest quota are as reckless as they are
never did.
Donald Trump's chaos is eroding trust.
People and shit. You know, like everybody goes, like every officer, every person goes to these things where they're made to know how to like control, or how do you say it, quality control and shit, you know, like how to take something down and shit, you know. Like, man, they just don't know who they really fucking with out here in these worlds nowadays and shit, man, you know. And there's a lot of us that have been fucking slapped around all of our lives that were able to fucking, you know, get slapped up so many times and shit that, you know, eventually the swinging is gonna be fucking dangerous as fucking shit, you know? Like, man, we live in a world where what's wrong with me? What's wrong? You didn't know that? There you go. Hell yeah. I appreciate you guys being here, man. 100%. And stop overthinking. All right? Yeah. You see, but whatever happens to California and shit, man, you know, I kind of feel like they want to take people out of there in order to start creating their people and are creating their smart cities and shit. Got the hit. That was it. Hey, have you guys ever heard the story of this dude? He's Japanese and shit, right? At least, but his passport said that he was from a different country, right? But the country wasn't on the map.
What the hell?
Yeah, I gotta find that story, guys. I gotta find that story. Like, he came into the airport, right? Like, he came into the airport with different
Turning now to a Fox News alert. Anti-ICE protesters are still riding.
Yeah, it's crazy how there's crazy stories and shit out there, man, you know?
Right? So where the hell did he come from? And how's he at the wrong airport?
different dimension and shit.
Dude, I'm telling her right now. I was supposed to get in the shower.
Yeah.
Yeah. Gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah?
The fuck was that? The computer was ready to talk to me and shit, guys. Mysterious guy has passport from a different country.
Do you have a thing for me?
Where's the green one at? They took it or what? Everybody keeps on, whoever keeps on taking it. Where's that green one? Your green one? Connected.
It's in the kitchen.
Yeah, no, then I don't have one. What do you need? Just a cube? Let me see. Which? Oh, yeah. No. No. Oh. Here. Doing extra.
What does it go to right there?
To my charger. Oh, your phone's completely dead right now? Oh, yeah, go get your charger. That's not going to charge. Here, I'm going to show you guys right now. Hey, good night, my sister Lori.
Good night, Lori.
So the video's right here.
Can you unplug it for me?
All right, so yeah, it's crazy and shit, man. He arrived in Tokyo. They believe he came from a parallel universe. Yeah, he's on a hot summer day on July 1954. A man arrived in Haneda Airport in Tokyo for all intent and purposes. He was perfectly remarkable. A Caucasian, bearded, wearing a suit. He may have spoken French. He knew a fair bit of Japanese, nothing out of the ordinary. That is until the man handed over his passport. That's crazy though, right? Like, wild.
I don't think this works.
Oh no, where's your original charger?
I already took off my shorts. I think it's in my purse.
And where's your purse at?
In the kitchen.
Yeah. Bam. That's crazy though, right? straight wild. Straight wild. You know, the theory is that he came from a parallel universe. That's the theory. But how would you guys feel and shit, man? You know, somebody handed you over a passport that you didn't even know where the origin of that fucking place was at and shit, you know? Hell yeah, man. Hey, shouts out to everybody, man. Peace out. You guys have a good night. I'm going to be over on TikTok right now.